Let me come back. YouTube, welcome back to my channel, YouTube. If y'all are new here, my name is Angel Uchiha. If y'all are not new, then of course, welcome back. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we have yet another podcast. I know, I've been, I haven't been being consistent with you guys, but I'm back. So as y'all can see, today's topic is mental health from a spiritual perspective. And I have Mr. Ziggy here with us today. Do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Hey, y'all, man. First time here. Happy to be here. I go by Divine Guidance for, my life coaching journey and healing journey. But, I go by Ziggy as well for, my name. So Tap in.
Okay, bet. So I do like to give people a little bit of background just to get your perspective, right? To see where you're coming from. So what are your spiritual beliefs?
I'm free spirited. So, like saying that, like I believe in all things until proven otherwise. Or, I go do my due diligence. I don't just believe in what people say or whatever I see type deal. But yeah, as far as that, I believe in all the mythologies and all that stuff.
Okay, so you don't have like a specific school of thought or religion or spiritual practice?
Nah, I write my own script. So that's why I say I'm free spirited. Like, I believe in source, I believe in the universe and everything, but I literally write my own however I want. Like, I take things I learned from other people and other elders or role models, and I just try to do my best to just implement it into my own life.
Okay, I see it. I was just
Yes.
curious because I see the Eye of Horus going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
are
Well,
you
it's the eye of Ra.
Phoenician?
I got the eye of Horus on
Oh,
my back.
Eye of Ra. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. See, I'm rusty, y'all.
Yeah.
So the topic that really stood out to me, right, when I was, doing my little research on you, I saw you speaking about bringing awareness to mental health, right? And I hear a lot of people speak about mental health from a very like Western science, psychology, type of perspective. I don't see a lot of people who come from a more spiritual perspective using the words mental health specifically, right? I might hear shadow work, I might hear, meditation, but that particular combo is unique to me. So I was curious to see what has your journey, right, with mental health looked like from a spiritual perspective as you started your spiritual journey.
Oh, hey, that's a good question. Personally, it's been how I always say, you feel me? Like when it comes to mental health and how I keep myself balanced in a sense is like I don't compare myself, but I always say it could be worse because I do see other people how they live. I'm not living like that. Yeah, I go through drama with family or friends or whatever the case may be, or even myself, but it always could be worse. You feel me? So that's one way I kind of keep myself at bay with certain things. But personally, like my journey it's been a uphill battle, spiritual battle, and the more I became aware of just the spiritual realm, it just amped up. It's like I started going through a lot more stuff, more like faster, and I was like, "Yo, what's going on?" So it's been very challenging, but at the end of the day, I'm very grateful for because it made me who I am right now.
I think it's interesting that you said that, like, as you've become more awakened, like, you've gone through more in that capacity, right? Because I think that that's a conversation that I want to bring a little bit of attention to, right? Um, when I first came into my spiritual journey, one of the first things that I got into was like, oh, aligning my chakras. I watch Naruto, so I'll be wanting to say chakra so bad. Yeah. I had to correct myself. But aligning my chakras, open up my third eye, trying to activate Kundalini energy. Like this is the first kind of thing that I stepped into, right? And there was definitely two sides of it for me. So we're gonna get into anxiety, right? That's gonna be something I want to ask you about. So we're gonna put a pin into that. So on the one side, right? As I began to open my third eye and tap into meditation and viewing things from the metaphysical in the physical, there were a lot of mental changes that I went through, right? And I could see how a lot of people can blame spirituality and say, getting into all this occult shit, like it's making you crazy and blah blah blah. Like, and so that was something that I had to like go through in myself, like, damn, am I healing myself? Am I tapping into something I'm supposed to be tapping into? Or am I making myself crazy? Like, and where's the balance? So is that something that you experienced?
Yeah. I definitely did, but I thought I was tripping for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like until I mean, but it just kept happening in the way it was happening, and even being in like life or death situations, and how the fuck am I here type deal. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just like I know it's something greater than what we see with our physical eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely went down that rabbit hole of, damn, am I crazy? Am I following some occult satanic stuff? Like, but as
Mm-hmm.
I grew more into it, you feel me, and just like you gotta unlearn and relearn. That's the first thing. So
Yeah.
you really gotta say, forget what everybody think, forget what I was taught, forget what I was programmed, everything, and just start back from like you don't know nothing, and just whatever you're interested in, go back into it from scratch, and just build upon it. Cause how I do things, I'm a audio listener. Like I go read, but I like to listen to other leaders. Like so, I get a lot of my information from that. I go fact check it, but a lot of people I listen to, they come with their own facts. So I'm like, well, I gotta fact check them. If they showing me the facts. So
Yeah. Yeah.
with that, it's just yeah, this is a never ending journey. Honestly, that unlearning and relearning is one of the main things I would just say you have to focus on to be able to know that you're not crazy. That's why I say I
Yeah.
write my own script. I write my own story, literally, because in order for you to do that, you got to unlearn everything. Because right now, people that still, going about their journeys, they don't know subconsciously or whatever. Even if they're trying to or striving to, live their own life, they still implementing things that was already programmed and taught to them, whether they like it or not. So with me, like certain things I keep with me that I was programmed and conditioned to, but other than that, everything I do is whatever my spirit tells me, whatever I feel is best.
Yeah, I think that's amazing advice. At least just based off my experience as well. Like I feel like you definitely have to unlearn whatever you've been conditioned to believe before. I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of what made it very mentally stressful for me in the beginning was the fact that I started to see certain things and energies and entities. And coming from a Christian household, I had already been conditioned to see things as demons and,
Yeah.
evil spirits. So you have certain experiences and you have to ask yourself, like, am I dealing with a demon or have I been conditioned to think that this is a demon by the spiritual system that I've grown up in? So a lot of the stress and fear and uncomfortability is coming from being conditioned to feel those things, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that actually kind of brings me into the next topic that I wanted to discuss, right? So one of the things that I went through earlier in my spiritual journey was, well, even prior, I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they started to put me on various medications and dosages and blah blah blah. And I would like to say that I cured my anxiety with meditation, with fasting, with changing the type of energy that I interacted with and ingested, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after I went through that experience,
Mm-hmm.
I had a different channel at the time. So those of y'all who don't know, I actually had a whole different channel where all I did was post like knowledge, right? And so I had a whole series where I was debunking mental health disorders, right? And one of the first ones that I did was anxiety. And people were so mad at me. People were pissed. Like, what do you mean anxiety isn't real? You don't know what it feels like. And I'm like, listen, I was having full blown panic attacks. Can't breathe, freezing up, can't speak, passing out. Like, I went through the whole
Oh yeah,
anxiety
damn.
battle. I went through the whole, like, that's a whole other video, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the point that I'm getting at though is, so the first thing, anybody who's been diagnosed with anxiety and depression, the first thing that they tell you is that it's a chemical imbalance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second
Mm-hmm.
thing that they're going to tell you is that they don't know why, right? So let's sit here and think for a moment about how the
Yeah.
human body works. It does not release various hormones and chemicals for no reason, for the
Nah,
most
not
part.
at all.
If you are experiencing a chemical imbalance, something is causing that chemical imbalance. So stop letting them tell you, oh, well, we don't know why. So we're going to
Mm-hmm.
give you medication that's supposed to offset the chemical imbalance, right? Instead of addressing what's causing it in the first place. So that's something that I began to research into, is what can cause chemical imbalances in the body. Diet. Diet is one of the
Yeah.
first things, and not just what you eat, but also what you drink, also what you consume mentally and spiritually. All of these things complete your diet on a metaphysical and physical level. These things can directly cause you to have a chemical imbalance. Another thing is the environment that we live in, right? So if you're constantly put in situations that are increasing your stress hormones, right, and disrupting your sleep pattern, and causing you to constantly go into fight or flight, you're going to always be in a state of imbalance because your environment is fostering that. So then when we
Yeah.
take consideration that we live in America, right, where the standard diet and the standard environment fosters chemical imbalances, I don't understand why we act confused when we're one of the highest nations in anxiety and depression. I don't understand why we act confused and say, "Well, I don't know where this chemical imbalance came from." Um, you don't. So you're not.
If they in denial, but being naive.
Exactly. So by changing these things within my life, I was able to completely eradicate my anxiety, right? Um, so I just wanted to know your perspective, right?
Mm.
In a sense of, is that, first of all, is that something that you've experienced, being able to redirect or address something that you were told you had to take medicine for, or you had to go, the more Western route?
I never took medicine for any type of anxiety or anything I had.
Hmm.
I kind of just dealt with it with myself and smoking. uh, but as far as that, only thing that I've taken, like I was taking, because I played football and stuff, so I kind of had little injuries or bruises or whatever. So
Hmm.
it was just ibuprofen and stuff. But as I learned even about that and how I do the kidney and how all that stuff, I
Hmm.
stopped taking everything. Like just stopped flat out. Even when I was getting colds or whatever, like, I didn't take unless it was real bad. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna get this knocked out real quick. I'll probably take something like Dayquil or something like that that I know
Hmm.
will work, but even though it's not. But other than that, I just turned to just all the herbs. And one thing to piggyback off of what you said about the cortisol hormone and like the stress and everything that be released when you are stressing and thinking about overwhelming yourself or whatever with things.
Hmm.
When I transitioned from eating meat and all that stuff to strictly just fruit and water and stuff, that was the best 8 months I've ever felt in my whole life. Like I'm talking about, it was rough in the beginning, of course, because you just gotta get used to it, get acclimated. But after that, I want to say really after that month, after I got through that month and so on, like energy levels rose. Like I wasn't stressing. I was thinking clear. My music got better. Like
Hmm.
a lot of things just started enhancing. And like I said, every time we counteract a low vibration with a high vibration and maintain that high vibration, it's always gonna be something that's gonna amp up to try to knock you back off. So of course I had some obstacles that came my way. And it ain't knocked me off track, but it just slowed my pace down a little bit. So I'm back at it, get back in the routine of what I was. But other than that, like just to put that out there, people think that it's really not, it don't do nothing for you. Like I'm literally living proof of it. And a lot of other people are, as well as just wanting to maintain a healthy diet. And it's not just what you eat. You feel me? Like what you see, read, breathe, everything. Overall, all the senses is what you need to keep at 100%, or at least 90%. Now, I ain't
Yeah.
gonna say don't enjoy life. If you're gonna enjoy life, eat what you want. Just find a balance. You feel me? Don't just be out, doing what you're doing. You finna be suffering a couple years down the line, and then you're gonna be like, oh well, now I gotta now they finna put you on all that medicine
Yeah.
and shit.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like I definitely had the same experience, like around that time that I had started meditating and addressing things from a spiritual perspective. I also went raw vegan, right? And I was raw vegan for like a year and a half, over a year.
Hmm.
And also during that time I will often do fasts. So there fast.
I about to say fat. Fasted.
Fasted? Like, wait a minute. I will also fast. Okay, there we go. I will also
Yeah.
fast. And I did different forms. So I did intermittent fasting where I only eat between the hours of 8 and 12, or like, I would move the time around. I would
Okay.
do completely dry fast, right? So I might not eat or drink anything for 5 days straight, 3 days, whatever the case may be. So I definitely played around a lot with detoxing and withholding myself from certain things that I like to indulge in, right? And y'all, you would be amazed at how I was able to like completely reprogram my mind. Like even after I stopped being raw vegan, there's still foods that to this day I don't eat that I used to love. I used to really love like honey buns and like uh, you know, Reese's and like all this
I
different shit. And
I used
even
to have some
after,
honey buns.
yes, I swear to God. But now, like, I don't
That
like
shit
those
hurt my
things.
stomach.
They hurt my stomach. They hurt my head. They hurt my teeth. Like, they repel me,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, Even though, like, so I'm just saying that to say there's a lot of people that are addicted to certain things, and it's because that is what your body has adjusted and become accustomed to, right? Um, but once you pull those things out and make your body become accustomed to a new way of life, it will do that, right? You don't have, but you have to go through that temporary discomfort, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of brings me back to the mental health subject, because I feel like a lot of people are stuck in like mental ailments because they rather like take medication or do like they rather deal with this than go through the temporary discomfort of completely changing the way that their life operates, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that people don't want to let go of that are detrimental for them.
You gotta reboot that Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Instead of
So
30 seconds, it take 30 days.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't even say, like, you would be surprised. Like, it don't even take a full 30 days sometimes, like, for you to
I
really
just
like,
say 30 days because I know the challenges you're gonna face. It's, for people that's more disciplined and more dedicated, now
mhm.
you 7 days. You feel me? You 3 days. Cause I done had paradigm shift so quick. I had to sit back like, damn. I was just I'm not even there no more. You feel me? I had to just keep accept it for what it is and keep on going up.
Mhm.
And like I said, at the level that I have been with this shift in this energy of this universe lately, with the strawberry moon and oh my god, boy,
Well, let's talk about
it's
that a
been
little bit. Where you been
it's
at lately?
like spiritual war, spiritual at war every day. I
Mhm.
had I had to do some. Had to go do some magic with the universe. And once I'm talking about after I did it, so I did it on the day of the summer. I did one the summer solstice. So that day between that time period, I be about 4:51 p.m. when they said it was. I did some work. You feel me? Right after that, some BS came, and then the next day, I don't think I did nothing on a full moon, but that Saturday when the strawberry moon came, I had a affirmation that I seen hit everything I needed. So I wrote it down verbatim and added a little bit of my own sign, some stuff, and spoke it 3 times, then burnt it, sent it to the universe, poured out some water and everything for my ancestors and all that. And
Mhm.
I'm talking about that cleared so much around me. Like I'm talking about people that was from day one, like family and all. It showed so many true colors. So
Yeah.
now I'm back. I'm back in my own bubble, like, cause I
Mhm.
was. You feel me? Like, nah, you gotta take some time, and when you come back, we gotta throw the gloves on.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's definitely crazy. Like, I feel like it's always surreal to see divine intervention happen in your life, right? Um, there's so many things that I've done that I've like kind of amazed myself, and people are kind of
Yeah,
like, "Oh well, that's just this. You just believed it would happen." So okay, right? Either way, it happened though.
exactly.
That's my response to things. So if it's working just because I believed it worked, it still worked. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not in that position.
Cause
Um,
you willed it. You clearly willed it to work if you believed it. I mean, your
mhm.
energy was strong enough to make it happen.
Exactly. Exactly. So again, look into alternatives, y'all. Like I'm not here to tell nobody what to do. but I don't think it's wise to put yourselves in situations where you're told that what's happening in your reality has nothing to do with you and you don't have the power to affect or change it. That something else outside of you has all of that power, right?
Yeah.
And if you are going to go the religion route, I suggest that you learn it for yourself and look deeply into it, because you will see that that entity, that God, that creator is inside of you, right? And you have that ability within yourself, right? You can tap into that.
Mm,
And you can apply that to all different areas of your life, including mental health, right?
yeah.
So something I did want to ask you about, right?
Mm,
Because it's kind of similar. So during the eclipse, there was a fairly popular astrologer, right?
mm,
Who she kind of leading up to the eclipse was talking about it, and just talking about the effects that it was going to have and all this good stuff. And then during the eclipse, she ends up killing, like she pushes her kids out the car, right? And
uh,
then she kills herself, right? And so there were a lot of
yeah.
people who were kind of like, she had mental health issues,
I missed
you
that
know.
part.
Yeah, and they're looking at all of her stuff on her page, like, see, she was into astrology and she thought that the moon could control her and blah 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 and da da da. And so I definitely saw people kind of use that as a moment to say, like, see, this is why y'all gotta stop messing with that spiritual stuff. Like, um, I guess what I'm asking, right, is because
Uh,
I love astrology as well, right?
mm,
And I do pay attention to the transits and the different placements and the effects that we have, they have
mm,
on us, right?
yeah.
Um, so where do we draw the line though? Like, where do we draw the line between free will and the influence of the cosmos?
Mm. That was good. Okay. That's a thinking question right there. Hold on. I thought I was gonna have a quick answer for that. um, where do we draw the line between free will and the power of the cosmos? I mean, all in all, the free will came from the power of the cosmos. So it's just knowing the power that you possess, knowing who
Mhm,
you are and what you were created of. You feel me? Like, I don't know the scientists or the people that did the study of an experiment of some when they cremated a body.
mhm,
They seen start, it was like stardust, like a dead star.
mhm.
Like, no cap. I seen
I
the
did see
video.
that.
I went into, I said, so our ashes is like a dead star looking like the galaxy type. So when you learn and you realize and go into certain things that they try to keep from us and just throw BS entertainment in front of our face, when you go beyond that, you gonna see really of what you are. Even if you're in a religion, like, if you forget what the pastor is saying, really, like,
Mhm,
even though he's saying, might be saying some real, good message you need to hear, or whatever, but if you listen to what he's telling you when he is saying certain things, my main thing from the Christianity Bible that I've gotten is we're made in God's image and likeness.
mhm.
That's all I needed. I don't okay. So I'm about
Yeah.
to I'm about to go do what God do then. If I'm God, that's
Mhm,
basically what you're telling me. God is in me and I'm his reflection when he like, so why would I deny that or try to dim that light when every religion or book that you really go towards is telling you the same thing in its own way.
mhm,
So therefore, it's like it's all up to your discipline and your soul's contract of what you really came here for, whether you get lost or not. You feel me? So you stay true to that, stay true to the source of what what you are. Then that free will is always gonna be of a divine, pure intent.
mhm.
But when you got people that try to find excuses to do things, I mean that's a different story.
Yeah.
Like, don't like, it's really a different story. I don't know how to explain it unless you really fighting some magic with magic and they doing some puppet puppetry or some I don't know. But other
Mhm.
than that, it's like, how can you really say, oh, this made me do that? It's like, no, something in your brain, or you got possessed. That's how
Yeah.
I look at it. Like, some entity jumped into you in that moment, seeing some type of vulnerability and just took advantage. Like, and now you blacked out, did something, and now you bet like, oh, that wasn't me. I got mental issues. No, this is a real spiritual world, bro. This is not nothing to play with.
I swear to God. I swear to God. I mean, and so bear with me as I try to explain this, y'all, right? Because I know this is gonna sound iffy, right? But so first of all, I like that you said, I like that answer of essentially the free will that we possess came from the power of the cosmos. That's where it originated from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like for example, one of my favorite descriptions in Genesis is where it talks about how God breathed life, the breath of life into Adam, right? So at first it was just dirt, it was a lump of clay, right? It just was,
Or
which if you look into
stardust.
stardust, right? Because if you look at what we're supposedly made of, what are we made out of? Iron, copper, you
Everything that
know,
the earth possesses.
exactly, various minerals, right? And that quality from the divine, from the source, that's what allowed us to even be, right, as we are, and to sit here and have this conversation. So I think this is where the illusion of separation comes in a sense of there's nothing out there outside of you. There's like it is you, the thing that you are praying to, the thing that you are venerating, the when you look out into the world, that is inside of you. That's why you're existing, right? um and so I think when we get in our heads and we convince ourselves that Mercury is something outside of us, right? And so that I'm a slave to this energy, right? And when this energy hits and it's in retrograde, my life is gonna be fucked up. Like I think.
And just to say something, Rick, I'm glad you said that. It's like
Mhm,
that, and that's what I mean. Don't get caught up in certain things, that's another reason why people deem astrology as whatever voodoo,
mhm,
hoodoo, whatever you want to call it. So it's like when people do get exposed to themselves and learn about themselves, and they read this stuff, like it hit me crazy because I'm like, how is people writing this stuff out and it's actually my like telling me about my life. You feel me?
mhm.
Like it's actually on point too. It's not really off. Some of it may be like it don't resonate, but a lot of it resonates. And that's what astrology is. When it aligns you with your planet, your houses, and all that, and you start reading the energy of them and what they come from and what they come with, people get lost in that because they start trying to live by that. It's like, don't live by that. This is just telling you who you are and what you came as in this lifetime. Still write your own story based off of that energy. Now you have the whole download of you. So move accordingly. You feel me? Don't
Yeah,
get lost in it and say, oh, at this day, or when this day come and this full moon come, I'm gonna be like, it say that this gonna happen, or I'm gonna be like this. Well, this how I'm gonna be. No, it's if it happened, it happened. Let it happen. Let it flow. Don't try to control that. You feel me?
yeah.
It's just I my main line is let go, let flow, to grow. So that's all I say.
Exactly. Like I feel like that should be so funny to me because like my Mercury's in retrograde, right? I have a
Mm-hmm.
Mercury in Pisces in retrograde. So everybody just be like, "Oh my God, Mercury retrograde," and I'm like, "Okay," like that. That's a
Yeah.
part of some people's natural alignment. So with that logic, I should be in a fucked up state every other day of the year. Like when Mercury's not in retrograde, I should be in a constant state of failed communication and failed technology because my original energy is in retrograde, right? At least in that area. So just seeing little stuff like that, that's how I know like though these things exist, though these energies exist, they don't dictate your entire life and how it functions, right?
Yeah.
It's just an energy that you can work with. And so that's what I was trying to get into earlier as far as like for example, you said possession, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um I think people should think that like okay, what what makes you you, right? What gives you your personality? What determines how you act, right? It's all really very logical when you think about it. Like the experiences that you have, the information that you store, that creates your subconscious mind, right? And then as you go through life, you make decisions based upon what you've already stored in your subconscious mind. I'm not going to do that because if I do that, something bad is going to happen, right? Um, and so you make a different decision. So if I can change what's in your subconscious mind or add on to it enough, right? Theoretically, I can change the type of decisions that you make, right? And the things that you do. So I'm just saying this to say, I think that, like, we'll say, like, oh, like a spirit took over this person. And I'm like, or did that person put themselves mentally and spiritually in a space that is different than what they originally were in, or, was conducive for them? I personally think that if you change rapidly, if you change your connections rapidly, if you introduce different things into your mind at a quick enough pace, like, I feel like it can have the illusion of like, oh, this person was taken over by an extra entity, when it's like, no, their mind, the way that their mind works, the things that they interact with on a spiritual level, those things have changed. And being exposed to that has caused them to have a different response, right? So like one of the first things I can think of is like shrooms, right? Um,
I'm
if
glad you
y'all
said
ever
that.
done shrooms, that shit changes the whole way your mind thinks in a matter of seconds. Like,
But that thing will unlock you. Them shrooms will unlock you. You go into it with the right mind state and the right spiritual energy,
mhm.
you will come back high elevated than you ever left. I'm telling you,
Exactly.
like,
And some
cause I
people
was
could.
skeptical of it. I
Mhm.
was skeptical of it before. You feel me? And then what's wild about it? I was skeptical about shrooms, but my first experience with psychedelic was LSD.
Oh God.
And when I tell you that, if you want to get straight to the point, you feel me? Go ahead with that. But if you want to just do it the holistic way, the natural way, the smooth way, I do mine. I blend it in smoothie with the shrooms, and
Mhm.
I drink it. And you feel me? That's that. Yeah, it would take you wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I don't know how y'all be using shrooms as a recreational drug. Like people that be like abusing shrooms.
No, can't do that.
I don't get it.
You
Like, I
can't
don't know
abuse
how
it.
y'all do it.
You gotta. That's why I say, like, you gotta be disciplined, because that I almost wanted to stop smoking and just do that. You feel me? That's how
Mhm.
good it made me feel, and that's like what I always wanted to feel. And it's not even like just the high state of mind; it's the no stress, like all happy. Nothing bothers me. I think everything through. I see everything clearly. Like, it just my music turn. Like I said, everything elevates. It all it does is enhances whatever gifts and feelings of emotions you possess or carry in you in the moments. It's gonna play on some traumas too. It heals. It's a healing type. How can I say, herb? I guess I call it that.
Yeah,
It's
and
even though
healing don't
psychologists
always
or
feel
whatever.
good. I learned that the hard way. I did.
Nah,
I
not
did.
always. Yeah, I say that too. I say that too. Because
I
sometimes
took
you just
the.
it's
I
not
took
a
the.
bad trip. I
Mhm.
never experienced a bad trip. I just experienced bad timing.
Yeah.
I should have looked more into myself. I did more cleansing before I
Mhm.
did it. Probably like two out of the 6 or 7 times I have done shrooms, I've experienced a little. I say three. I experienced a little. Like, nah, I'm gonna take a break after this one. I ain't doing it for a minute because it was
Yeah.
too intense and it was the wrong energy that I wanted. So
Mhm.
it happens, but it's all a part of your healing journey. So some things you don't ask for, but you're gonna receive because it's for your spiritual journey, regardless.
Yeah, that's I would definitely say make sure your mental state is right when you do shrooms, because it's gonna take you deep into the crevices of
Yeah,
your own existence, and whatever's in there, you're gonna see it, like, and experience
yeah.
it and deal with it. And so, yeah, that's something that I went through when I did like a heroic dose. I took like 5 grams, and it was
I did
a
7.
yeah. See, I stopped at 5 because I I did everything but died that day. And I thought I was dead. I went through a point in the trip where I thought I was dead. That's a whole nother
Oh
story.
my god.
So
Yeah, don't tell
yeah,
that story. You gonna run people away.
yeah. Like, and I'm not saying that to scare y'all. I'm just saying that to say, right?
It happens.
That's how quickly one little thing can change your entire feelings and perspectives and how you see the world and how you think and process information. And so this is why, like, again, bringing it back to the initial topic, when people say like, okay, well, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have this, as if it's this finalized thing that cannot be changed, right? It's just what it is. If that's the case, how can I take one little mushroom and my entire brain be completely changed to see things a completely different way than what I just did 5 seconds ago? I feel like that lets you know right there that mental health, your mental state, is something that can be changed. It's something that can be manipulated. And 9 times out of 10, if you're feeling some type of adverse or, traumatic or negative way, something is manipulating it, most likely, right? Um, I think that like I'm someone who finds myself like, because I talked about the anxiety for a little bit, but like from the depression side, right? I'm someone who finds myself like I tend to like suppress certain things, right? So like I'll go through an experience and I won't necessarily react to it right then and there, but then as time goes on, I'll just wake up feeling like shit one day. Like I'll just wake up feeling sad as fuck, we on my sad girl shit for a couple hours, and I'm just like, why am I sad? Where's this coming from, right? And it's because of that, again, like I said, that traumatic experience being stored in my subconscious. And even though I'm not consciously dealing with it or crying about it, it's still there,
It's in
right?
the tissue.
Mm-hmm.
The
Exactly.
trauma and everything get trapped in your tissue. That's why they say you always supposed to have, you know, consistent chiropractor visits, spot therapy days, and yoga. Because the more you keep that stress out of your muscles and relieving it and releasing it, then of course the less you're gonna wake up like that. And that's, I mean, everything takes discipline and takes determination, but it's all about how long you want to live and how vibrant of a life you want to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely look into that, y'all. Like I know how they say like certain, energies are trapped in your hips or other places within your body, right? That's something else that I did as well, yoga. Like when I was at a different space in my spiritual journey, like I woke up and I did yoga every single day, faithfully, outside, no matter what, right? And during that time period, I did have way more control over my emotional state. Like because that's one of the things that you're learning in yoga is like mind over matter. So a lot of the things that you experience as a physical limitation starts as a mental or spiritual limitation, right? And that's when I was also like really studying Shiva, right, and learning what that destruction energy actually means, right? But that's the whole other thing. Point is knowing how to destroy blockages, using movement, using, spiritual practices. That's definitely a big part of it. I think that bridges the gap between the spiritual and mental health.
Yeah, mental health is very important because this world is a mental game, and that's how you use most of your gifts. It starts in your mental. So once you think it and then you feel it, and, act it, speak it, and that's everything. You feel me? And it's gonna come back reciprocated. So always watch what you're putting out and putting in. And so, and that's another important thing. You put out, if you know you're putting out negative or not like low frequency and evil vibes or whatever, then you're gonna just expect unnecessary health issues or just low things that happen that you feel me you could have avoided just by meeting everything with a transmutation, a transmute a transmuting energy of like authenticity and love. Just always be yourself and always be pure in what you do. And then the more you do that, you feel me, then you you see a lot of change. And I say this because I've seen it. Now I do this every day, honestly. Like a lot of things that I've faced recently, like I said, in my transition of going up higher and elevation, it goes to show like you control everything you do. So, but yeah. That's my little take on that. Adding that in there.
Yeah, I fuck with it. I feel like this is we gave y'all a lot of jewels, y'all. Like or at least we pointed y'all in the right direction. So if y'all are somebody who's currently dealing with mental health issues, if y'all are currently trying things and they're not working, because like I said, I understand that. That's where I started off, trying things the traditional Western way, right? And it's not working. I'm not your doctor or nothing. So don't say, oh, the angel said to do this and then I did that. It's all angel's fault. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is look within yourself, right? And ask yourself, what are some changes that you can make in other areas of life? And try that shit. Like, just try it. But yeah, so I think we gave the topic all it needed. Is there anything else you want to add to
We'll
it?
get a part 2 with the mental health coming, whenever we get a chance to come. I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody marinate on this one a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was gonna touch on the psychedelic part, so I was happy you went into that. So that was pretty much everything I wanted to tap into too, with that. But yeah, I don't really have much to add. I feel like we kind of wrapped it up with this part.
Well, y'all, thank y'all for coming through. I want to thank you for sitting down with us and helping us out. I really enjoy having great conversations, and I hope everybody's able to take this and apply it. I want y'all to like, comment, subscribe, share the video because we're still trying to get monetized, y'all. Y'all are playing with me. Make sure y'all go support Diggy too.
Yeah, I'm about to say, y'all do, I do life coaching and consulting and everything. So if anybody needs an extra ear or some extra advice, you could tap into my page. It's Kings with Knowledge. Exactly how it sounds, Kings with Knowledge. Just DM me with whatever you got to ask or whatever you want to set an appointment, whatever. I accept donations. It ain't no set price. I'm just here to guide y'all.
All right, y'all. So definitely go support. Go get some help. Y'all need that. And yeah, we up out of here, y'all.
All right, peace.